Hey guys, it is Chad here from the Battle Warrior Podcast, and I'm just letting all you listeners know that the Battle Warrior Podcast episodes will be available across all podcast platforms, guys. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this brand new episode today. Hey man, welcome to Battle Warrior Podcast, guys. We have a phenomenal guest. We've been fighting a little bit on timing, but this is perfect timing for it here. So guys, welcome to the show, Jon Sansone.
Awesome, man. Chad, thanks for having me on. So much fun, to delve into new audiences and, hopefully bring some inspiration to the masses.
And that's exactly what my show is about. And it's pretty simple. Whole stats here, guys, which is a lot, but over 30 years plus in the sales industry. Podcast host of the Schools Out 80s comedy channel.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, all good. Yeah, I'm I'm just a product of mental health, and a lot of times we focus on physical health. And I want to tell your listeners, mental health and physical health are closely aligned. But I don't think people tell you how to be happy. People don't tell you how to obtain mental health. And many people struggle with it. And many famous people struggle with it. I don't know if this is on my bio, but I'm also an avid reader. And I've read over 100 biographies. I've read 5 books on Marilyn Monroe alone. I get on a subject and I just can't stop. I just love to read. I'm reading a book right now. I just got done reading 4 books, but mental health, famous people struggle with mental health. And typically they struggle with mental health in what's called the dead time period. And I got a great example for you. So you probably recall a very famous singer from the 60s, Miss Janis Joplin.
Yeah, she was all kinds of heart and soul.
Yeah, she was amazing. I mean, just absolutely amazing. From Port Arthur, Texas. Her dad was an engineer, I believe an electrical engineer from Port Arthur, Texas. But she was an amazing singer. But where she struggled in life was when she wasn't on stage. When she was on stage, she was great. And when it was pre-getting on stage, she was great. When she went back to the hotel room, sometimes alone, and she had to sit there for 2 to 3 days before it was her next gig, many of these famous people, John Belushi being another example, are no longer on this earth. And it's because it's in this quiet time period that we have when we're alone, where most people struggle. And the reason they struggle in this time period, because they don't really have a system. They, like a lot of us, like whoever the goofball was that came up with the television, a lot of us just jump into the television, right? Oh, well, flip that channel, flip that channel, flip that channel. Does the television do anything at all for your self-esteem?
No, it actually makes it worse.
Yeah. Does it help you at all in life?
99% of the time, no. Depends what you're watching.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say if you're watching like a Tony's Robbins live stream professional development,
that's different, right?
But overall, though, no, it just I don't want to call it a silent killer because that's a negative aspect of it, but it just starts rotting you from the inside out.
Yeah, you especially if you have some fire in you. You start watching TV and it almost plays with the brain because you're seeing all this activity going on, but you're not participating in any of it. And it doesn't require you to really think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just like we talk about like getting in the gym and working out and working those muscles and all that, if you're not working your brain, then your brain's going backwards. And if you're not focused on a goal, it's highly unlikely you're going to be happy. So So like you get somebody like Janis Joplin who's in her hotel room, or a John Belushi that's in their hotel room. So what's their goal? They're all stressed out, right? They're on the road. They're not singing that day. No demands are being put on them, but they still feel stressed out, right?
Yeah, no,
Um,
none of that natural adrenaline rush.
well, yes, and two, they don't have like a worthwhile goal. So what do they make their goal to be? Well, for Janis Joplin, it was Southern Comfort. She was trying to get from the front of the bottle to the back of the bottle. Just like most of us who work, we try to get from Monday to Friday. She was trying to get to the cap to the bottom. And John Belushi, oh my God, John Belushi, if you ever go online and look at what his body looked like the night he died, he was looking for a mental fix, and he was trying to find it in drugs. And I mean, if you look at the diagram of his body, I mean, he just had all over his arms, all over his legs, next to his groin. He couldn't find a place to shoot up the heroin successfully enough. And so he was goal seeking. It was just not a worthwhile goal. And that's what many people find themselves in. If you don't have a worthwhile goal, then it's unlikely you're going to be happy. And a worthwhile goal does, because I want people to walk away from this like a worthwhile goal is not just having money. A worthwhile goal is doing better for humanity. Like, why are you on this earth? Are you on this earth just to make money and pay taxes or evade taxes? Kidding. No, you're on this earth to leave the earth a better place, right? Hopefully you can find a way to do something great for the world at large. And it's not, you don't make all this money so that you can do drugs, so that you, because you're all stressed out. You have to have a worthwhile goal. And when you don't have a worthwhile goal, you're going to go the other direction. You're going to start tearing apart your own body, and you're going to start doing drugs. And the list goes on and on and on of the bad things that people can do. And it's in this time of silence and seclusion most people struggle. And I can teach people how to handle that minute, those moments of seclusion and silence, where most people struggle and go off the apple cart.
I'm gonna dig into that a little bit deeper because I just finished a marathon about 4 weeks ago. My next race
Congratulations.
Thank you. My next race is January.
Awesome.
Which is good, which is fun. But that, like what you're talking about, where it's like a gray area, where it's like your main goal's done, your brain is absolutely like, not say fried, but you're like, okay, it's done. You can breathe.
Yeah.
And ended up happening. I never noticed this, but I actually had 2 anxiety attacks.
Okay.
In a good way and a bad way. And I'm gonna say it this way. So like when we're in this situation, it's like our expectations, and the best analogy I want to say it is, my brain is 2 miles away. My body is here. Mm-hmm. My brain is mad that my body is 2 miles behind itself. Mm-hmm. And where the anxiety attack kicks in, it's where the expectations don't match up physically, like in a present day versus where my brain thinks it is. And when it comes to that stuff, and I was talking to a few guys all lately, actually last week, about it, but I'm like, I'm not used to this foggy gray, not in a negative way. It's not that way, but like, it's the, like you said, that's just middle zone where it's just kind of, you're revamping everything. You're running for new goals. You're trying to have downtime just to think and redo it. My brain exactly is like that, where it's, if I'm not balls to the walls on a goal, running to a goal, working out, and I'm working out twice a day now.
Awesome. Good for you, man.
But it's when that gets ripped away is when I get in trouble.
Well, you got to ask yourself, what are you putting into your brain on a day-to-day basis? What are you putting into your brain?
When I was running, a couple of weeks ago, was a lot of, and I'm a huge metal fan, 70s music and all that stuff, but like it was a lot of like Stevie Ray Vaughan blues.
Okay. All right.
A lot of Zeppelin, for some odd reason, Trampled Under Ice was replayed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
More just Motley Crue type, sex, drugs, rock and roll type stuff.
No, yeah, no worries, no worries. So you were raising you're raising your level of what do you want to call it? You were increasing your emotional state,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But what I'm asking though is like, what are you doing now? What are you doing now to increase your emotional state where you're having these hiccups? What are you doing now?
I think what it is just more self-talk of instead of so obviously, and we're gonna get in depth here,
Mhm.
guys.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you guys
yeah.
know it, but so prior to my divorce, we went through I was trying to run a business, get it established, and the floor got ripped away. So I ended up losing
Okay.
$48,000 a year.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
So it's a life like now 6 years from I'm glad that occurred
Yeah.
just because the spot and the space and everything I'm at now.
Right,
It was
right.
a good learning lesson, but at that
Sure.
time was, and now working full time, getting taking a little pay cut to get to this new job just to get more space for my business and all that stuff. So like
Okay.
all my shows for the business are done, all my races are done, and we're in that transition into the winter. So I'm looking at it going, okay, what do I do? Because it's not a set plan of something to tack. And
Right, right.
for me, when I was spinning was, holy crap, here are these bills piling up. And now it's bringing me back to that same motive or that same emotion back in the day where I'm trying to erase it. But where, and my marriage was not good at that
Mhm.
time because
Okay.
we were
Okay.
struggling trying to pay
Okay.
bills. So
Right.
just like that, everyone's kind of on each other and kind of button heads. But this is the first time I'm doing it single, without
Okay.
someone in my ear, which is good. Like it's probably the
Right.
best thing that can occur.
Okay.
Um,
So you're worried about money. Like you have money things that you're worried about. That's
oh
what's
yeah,
causing
yeah,
your anxiety.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. That's
uh,
helpful to know.
yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
uh-huh. Well, so you need a game plan for creating income,
Yeah,
whatever that game plan might be. Um, and you might need a shortcut to creating success. Um, and certainly working for somebody to create income is a great thing for you to do when you're having anxiety. Because people who are working, highly unlikely they're going to have a lot of anxiety because they're going to be focused on working, and making the money, so on and so forth.
yeah. So I'm still, like I said, I'm still working full time.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the secret, and I really don't give a shit if this is public, but
Mm-hmm.
I took this job to open up free time for me to run my business.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
like for me of going, my focus wants to be my business. I want to
Yeah,
be doing my business,
right.
but I have nothing on the shelf right now until like because we're at the end of farmers markets. So like everyone with the markets outside are transitioning in the winter stuff.
Okay.
So my mind's like, how do I attack this winter, this first year winter of owning an apparel brand? How do I attack it to where now I can roll into spring?
Oh, okay. So your business is like selling the hats and selling the t-shirts and things
Yep.
like that.
Yep. Actually, it's my own personal brand with all the stuff on there. What I learned now is this last week, um, there's two things. So I can take this downtime and reach out and see whoever wants to model my own stuff. So I can prep it for fall and winter. And then the second one I was looking at is, and someone reminded me this 2 days ago.
Mhm.
There is the biggest thing that I'm missing is the snap. So like the snap of no best way in the industry is what we call it. Like nothing's going to stop you. You're going to go attack.
Right,
You're
right.
going to, you're going to conquer. Just the instant snap the wrist, you know your why, you're going. And to me, I'm kind of like, okay, I've been in this for 2 years of not my apparel brand of it, but
Right,
just
right.
podcasting and everything piled up into the long term. And my mind's like, it's like, okay, so I'm at this level. Now we need to learn something to go at the next level.
And who do you know, Joe, who has their own apparel business and their own brand?
I can within reach or within pain? So within, okay. So within reach, I have, kind of, I don't want to call them, it's a hobby one. So like, that's not their main income.
Right.
I have a couple I can reach out to.
That would be important when you're having anxiety about building a business.
Yeah.
You need to have a mastermind group, and you don't need to have a mastermind group like me. I've never built a clothing brand. I can tell you all about professional selling and how to, but you need to talk to people who have built a brand and an apparel brand specifically. And you need multiple of those people, and you need to study their business model and what they do. Before you build out your own and focus on your own, go out and really understand what they do. And if you want a good example of where I'm coming from, it'd be Sam Walton, who started Walmart. He literally worked for a company called Benjamin Franklin in Arkansas. And on his days off, he would drive around to every five and dime store, they called it back then, and see what they were doing. And he would steal ideas from them and bring them back to his Benjamin Franklin. And that's what you want to do. You want to turn any off time you have, instead of just trying to sell your brand, you want to find out how they're selling the brand. That's what I mean by you want to get to market quicker. The best way to get to market quicker is to duplicate what somebody else has done.
Yeah. And the two that are in my, and I don't know if you know these mastermind groups or not, but like Arte, which is Ed Millett, Andy Frisella, and then there's some Apex, more professional development ones. And so the two main ones that I have on top of my shoulder or in my brain right now is Lion Not Sheep, and he has his own, which is Lion's Den.
Okay.
That's his own mastermind. And then he just hired the VP, the old president of, well, shit, I don't even remember what it was. It was an MMA brand clothing, that Knockout or something, one of the big Cali brands that went huge. And that mastermind is like $300-400 a month to go visit, meet with him. The other one is a Patriot one, and in that one, a lot of the big, so like the big boys, the multi-million-dollar companies, you have to pay to play. Like you have to drop the cash to at least tap into some sort of their knowledge.
Sure.
There's some local ones down here, and that's the thing that I kind of was hindering on a little bit this week of the mastermind, because there's some people locally that came up to me. They're like, hey, each little division, especially through our church, like we have our church, which is Bible studies and stuff, but like there's specialty groups. So like,
right,
this is the male one, they just focus on this. This is the younger males one, they focus on this. This is young adults, they focus on this. But there's nothing much, and you're seeing a pattern of it now, but like there's nothing much locally of a group of entrepreneurial guys that come together. They have their strong foundation, whether it's the universe, God, whatever. And they're open to say, hey, I love my business. I love working out. I love doing this. But the nice way of saying is I'm failing at this. So I want to come here and talk to you guys about, how I can learn from you guys, whatever. It's a mastermind. So like you throw it in the pot. And a few guys my age are going, locally, the guys are kind of different.
Right.
And they're like, we don't know if we trust them in a good way, but they're like, that I think is what's missing here in the upper Midwest. Down in Texas, they have them everywhere. California, they have them everywhere.
See, I think you need to network with somebody who already has a business, and you offer a portion of your profit to them to sell your stuff, because then they have nothing to lose by selling your stuff. They've just broadened their market, and you need to find as many of those kinds of relationships as possible until you have your own natural market.
I never thought about that way, because there's a few of them here that moved in town 30 minutes north of me, and he was at a previous location where I used to live. I never had a chance to cross paths with them, but through my network of people, we can definitely get that attached, get that
Yeah.
warm referral.
Success is all about duplication. Find out what's worked before. And that's what I teach in my book and in my professional course. I just teach what I've been doing for 30 some odd years. And I can do it for pretty much any business that I want to do it for. But it's just success duplicates itself, and it's duplicatable. So you find, and then what you do is you make associations and relationships with people who already have a business, already have customers. Because I imagine they reach a point of saturation, right? You can only sell so many of your t-shirts and your apparels to a customer, and then they want something different. Everybody always wants something different.
Yep.
When you meet somebody on the street, a friend of yours from like grade school or high school, they never say, "Hey, what's old? What?" They don't know, "Hey man, how you been? Hey, let's talk about the past." No, it's what's new. What have you been up to? So like, do people want old t-shirts? No, people want something new, something fresh, something different. So the more you're able to parlay that and broaden your audience, I would concentrate on broadening your audience and studying who's doing what. And particularly, like, if any of these guys that do apparel have a book and tells you how they built their apparel business, that should be reading 101 for you. And consider reading my book too, because it's wonderful for building state management and just staying in the zone. Like, most people can't stay in the zone. Like, I gave you an idea with John Belushi and with Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix. These people could not stay in the zone. They were magical, man. So it wasn't like lack of what do I want to say, talent. They were overflowing with talent. So the night that John Belushi took his own life with drugs, he had the #1 TV show. He had the #1 movie. He had the #1 album with Blues Brothers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, which movie was that? Was it the Blues Brothers movie, or was it?
I'm pretty sure it was the Blues Brothers movie, but it could have. It's been a while since I read John Belushi's book, that most of which was written by his wife.
Because I was gonna say Animal House was kind of in that like last couple of years of it too.
Yeah, but Animal House was the beginning, and then so I think it was the Blues Brothers. Ghostbusters was actually written for John Belushi, but he didn't live to perform it.
Oh boy, I don't even want to know what that would have been like with him.
Right. but these people that I'm speaking of, like you talked about, you just ran a marathon. It's so important when you're on top of the mountain that you celebrate being on top of the mountain. Like, most people that, like, I'm in sales, so like every single day I'm expected to sell. Every single month, year, quarter, whatever, I'm expected to sell. And but most people never get to the mountain, right? And so if you never get to the mountain, you can't ever be happy.
Yeah, and that zone is actually something, which is a funny topic because you're hitting at the right time.
Okay.
The zone is something I think as a sports fan, we get it. When I did competitive fishing and running, I get it. Like, it's very tough to explain to someone what it is,
right,
unless you're in it. But the thing about it is, it comes and goes. Like, there's days you're on fire, you're flawless, you can touch anything, it's gold. You could be hitting home runs left and right, whatever. Like, the world just stops and you're just so tunnel vision in front of you that whatever you're doing in the routine you're doing and all that stuff, it's so perfect.
Well, who had more home run hits than any other professional baseball player of his day?
Top of my head, no.
Babe Ruth.
Oh yeah, forgot. I should have known that one.
Don't worry about it. I'm an encyclopedia of this stuff.
Yeah.
So now, who had more strikeouts than anybody else of his day in professional baseball?
I would say it would be the same as him, but the other one that would be on top of my mind would be like Barry Bonds or something like that.
Well, back in his day, because I don't think Barry Bonds was alive during Babe Ruth's day. So it was Babe Ruth again. So the guy that had the most strikeouts also had the most home runs. So there's a lesson there, right? You can't have a home run without swinging, and you can't expect every single time you get up to bat that you're going to hit a home run. You're going to hit some pop flies that are going to get caught. You're going to hit some grounders and they throw you out at first. I teach this a lot in sales, but sales is a lot like running the football in professional football. It's like down, set, cut, and you're running and the quarterback puts the ball in in your chest, and you're running down, and you only get maybe 4 feet, and two guys throw you to the ground. That's sales, man. That's business. That's what happens. If you're truly building a big business and making a lot of money, you should expect that to happen. You should expect to have failure. And in a warrior, because your brand is battle warriors and my brand is sales warrior, a warrior gets up, goes to the huddle, regroups, comes back, and he's ready to run the ball again.
It's like,
and that is the mentality that you have to be successful long term. Anybody can be successful short term. I can hire people out of college and out of high school to come work for me, and they can be successful for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months. But if they're not reading and growing, they are not going to stay successful long term. That is the only way to stay successful long term.
You got to get pissed off being mediocre too.
Well, and you got to learn, like if you read, you can learn how to turn anger into motivation.
Yep.
You can learn how to turn anger into creativity. Anger is just an emotion, and every emotion we have has energy attached to it. And either the energy can be positive or the energy can be negative. There are people that get happy and are mean to people. There are people that are adored by the world and they're mean to people. So they take positive energy and they turn it negative. Think of a cult leader. A cult leader, people adore cult leaders. And then are they good to their people? No. They take positive energy and they turn it to negative. So if they can take positive energy and turn it to negative, you and I can take bad things that have happened to us and create a reason to make good things happen for others.
Exactly. And it's that getting back up, dusting yourself up and say, all right, get back up and say, all right, what's next? And the running joke when I was selling with everyone is people are like, why are you so calm when there's so much chaos? And I'm like, and I'm sure you're the same way because we've been in the sales. I'm like, I thrive when there's chaos. I'm like, I almost need in a good, healthy chaos, like busyness, chaos. Yeah. And they're like, you're not losing your mind. I'm like, let me see. I had a gun pulled on me already. I've had cell phones pulled on already. I've had a dude almost trying to say, if you go visit my uncle, I'm going to take you out. Like in sales industry, I laugh about it because it just emotions get involved and shit occurs.
Yeah. Something to be said for that. Definitely something to be said for that. But yeah, it's all about state management. And anything that happens to you, you can reframe it and turn it to the good. And that's the key. That's how you stay like in the pocket long term, because bad stuff's going to happen to you. And I like to think of life in analogies. So you think about it, and you and I are both sitting at the poker table as an example. And I get dealt 7 cards and you get dealt 7 cards. And it's really not the matter of cards that we get dealt. Like most people think it's like the talents that they're given in life. What matters is what you do with those 7 cards for the rest of your life. How do you play those cards? Because there are people that have been given amazing talents and they do nothing with them. Just like if I parked a brand new Corvette in your driveway, and you never put gasoline in it, all it is a great car with a lot of ability that can't go anywhere.
Oh, I'll be the first person to go buy some premium and drop that baby to the ground.
Oh, there you go, man. Drop the clutch. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, I'm trying to speak in word pictures and in analogies. Yeah. They really resonate with people. But you can have all these huge goals. But if you don't put a written plan together for your huge goals and go through them succinctly and then attack them succinctly, it's unlikely that you're going to achieve them. But the key is writing down your goals. Most people don't ever write down their goals, and they think it's going to take too much time. It's going to take too much time to write down my goals. In actuality, you've already lost if you're not writing down your goals, because you've already told yourself you can't do it. And I got a little kind of a little trick that the people listening to this can do, be quite beneficial to them. Have everybody take out a small piece of paper. And on that small piece of paper, write 3 tiny little goals that you want to achieve next week. So you take out that tiny piece of paper, write 3 small goals that you want to achieve next week. And when I say small goals, I might mean like changing out the light bulb in the bathroom. I mean, I'm not talking like mind shifting, mind moving, world moving goals. I'm talking about 3 goals. And for extra credit, if you want to add 2 more, make it 5 written goals. You write those out and then don't look at them again. Take that list and fold it, put it in a drawer, and don't look at it until, what is today, the 12th of October?
Yeah, that will be. So let me see, 12th, 15th, it'd be 16th. You would have to pull them out ish. 16th or 17th.
I want you to pull them out November 12th. Don't look at them. I don't want you to feel like you can, I want you to write 5 written goals that are achievable in a week's time period, that you believe that can be achieved in a week's time period. I want you to write out those 5 goals. And then after you're done, I want you to fold that piece of paper. I want you to put it in a dresser drawer, put it in a sock, and not look at it for a full month. And come back and let me know, email me or text me and let me know how many of those goals you achieved. What people are going to find is you've just included your subconscious in goal attainment. You've not only included your subconscious in goal attainment, but you included a very powerful source in the universe, and it's called goal manifestation, and it's called you probably know, it's used all the time in self-help books, the law of attraction.
That one, I was thinking The Secret, but that's the same thing. Yeah,
there will be things moving around now in your favor to help you achieve those goals. And it does not require you to look at the list ever again. In fact, you're cheating to look at the list ever again, because we don't want you consciously to achieve these goals. We want you to lock into the law of attraction, and we want you subconsciously to achieve these goals so you can build that muscle. A lot of people never build their subconscious muscle. And for me to be in sales for 32 years successfully, like I worked all day today. I had 6 meetings today. Look at me, man. I'm ready to rock and roll. After I get done with this, I'm going to edit my podcast, and then I'm going to watch a movie, and probably cap the night off by reading a book. So like, you got to have something to look forward to. Like we were talking about happiness. So happiness is being in the process of achieving a goal, and happiness is that next thing. What is that next thing? Like you play golf. Do you ever play golf?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So after you do hole number 1, what are you looking forward to?
Hole number 2, so I can crush
and
the
after
shit
you
out of
get
the
done
ball.
with hole number 2, and after you get done with hole number 2, and maybe during hole number 2, like you did great on hole number 1, but hole number 2, your drive didn't go very well. Maybe you got a double bogey. You're feeling kind of down in the dirt or whatever. But you know what an optimist says?
Let's get on hole number 3.
Man, let's get on hole number 3. Let's get loosened up. Let's get that driver going through the body. Let's get our body out of the way. Let's get soft arms, and let's smack the crap out of that ball. And that's an optimist, and that's how you're happy. So golf's a lot like gambling. Like that one good shot happens, and now you think you're Tiger Woods. In life and sales and business is like that. Like things are looking really bad, and then bam, something really good happens. But something really good happens when you're playing the game. Like if you only play hole number 1 and you do horribly on hole number 1, and you're like, I'm never playing golf again, that's the wrong thing to teach your subconscious. You want to teach your subconscious that, man, things are getting better. I'm moving in the right direction. I've now played 5 holes of golf. You do bad on the front 9. What are you looking forward to? The back 9. I'm going to do much better on the back 9. My body's loose now. I'm feeling good. I can see my putts, the line, the drive. I'm watching some other people play. I've learned a lot today. It's how you evaluate life, man, not what happens to you. How you evaluate life is much more important than what happens to you. And that's how you stay up. And that's how you stay like in the game. So you got to have a plan, a process, and always be looking for the next thing. Like, what is that next thing? With that said, you got to celebrate the wins. You can't just let a win happen and not celebrate it, or you'll never be truly happy. I hope this resonates with everybody, but this is all true. I've learned this over 32 years of being in sales. Years ago, I was like a lizard. Good things would happen. Just like if it was cold outside, I would be cold. If it was hot outside, I'd be hot. If I was making a sale, I'd be happy. If I wasn't making a sale, I'd be sad. I was a lizard existence. And now I'm just like, I'm in it to win it. But in the same respect, if they don't buy, so be it, because it's not going to change my life. And I'm going to be happy regardless. Like, that's another thing a lot of people don't know, Joe, is like, or Chad, I'm sorry, you make a decision to be happy, right? Like, exactly. Most people don't think they have that power. Most people, if you ask them, hey, what would make you happy, Sally, Bob? They'd be like, well, I need a new car. I don't like my apartment. I'd really like to be in a house. I wish I had a better relationship with my mom. No, you have what you need to be happy right now.
And the thing about it is people make it so complex, and we're going to end it here quick because you just went on a phenomenal thing, but I want to throw this in before we end. When people forget that it's so simple, even though it, like, to us, it's simple, but to everyone's like huge complex thing. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what's wrong with just go sit by the river or by a lake, have a cigar in your hand, and have music playing next to you, and just sit there and relax and just enjoy nature and smile.
If I was in Wisconsin, man, I would be there with you, because that's what I'm all about. Sitting back, relaxing, and enjoy life.
Yeah. And everyone's like, and I call it cigar wisdom or cigar hour or whatever. And I don't have it a lot, but it's almost so much wisdom or whatever my mind, it's like a mind release. I get in such like a writer's block when I get it. So when it's a perfect situation where everything is just not perfect, but like you're sitting there, you're relaxing, it's just beautiful, it's sunny out, and the time that you're out there just completely recharges you.
And you don't have to smoke a cigar. No. You could take a bottle of water. You could take a soda. It's what you have designed for yourself, and you're giving yourself something, and you're in nature. So you're in receipt of a lot of really positive energy. You're getting energy from either the moon, or if it's not daytime, from the sun. The fact that you're using your power, like Tony Robbins talks about, he calls it your personal power, but you're using your personal power not to watch TV, to sit in front of a lake or a river, really enjoy God's creation, and taking that time to just chill. You know, John Lennon used to say, sitting around doing nothing is not sitting around and doing nothing.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with him 100% on that. And it's almost like my Saturday evening / Sundays. So it's like a perfect reset to sit there and say, okay, hey, the week is done. Go enjoy nature a little bit. Whether it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is. I'm learning now. I take a little notebook with me at times. If I read in it,
man.
If not, I don't. It's
yeah.
And obviously with my apartment, it's a quarter block away. We have a trail on the river, or I drive and go. And it's such, it sounds really weird to say it this way, but like, obviously we're transitioning in the fall, but watching the ducks just swim by and chuckle, and birds, something so simple that is free can just completely change your life for the week.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. Watching the ducks, watching the geese, watching your own personal dog. I mean, it's all about just like experiencing life. Like, you know, so what is it? New York City, no, Madison Avenue. That's where all the advertising comes out of back in the day. And the whole idea was teach you that you can't be happy unless you have this. You can't be happy unless you have this new refrigerator. You can't be happy unless you have this brand new car. You can't be happy if you have blah, 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 blah. Well, the truth is, you can be happy. You got to decide to be happy. And you got to say, like, what makes you happy. And what makes you happy isn't what you want to have next. That's a process. Like being in the process of achievement makes you happy, but truly what makes you happy in the moment is gratitude for what you have.
Absolutely.
And many times it's simplistic. I'm happy that my two arms work. I'm happy that I have two eyes where I can see. Not everybody has two eyes where they can see. Not everybody has full hearing of their ears. Not everybody can speak in a way that other people can understand them. The list goes on and on and on. But when you start to understand and have gratitude for what you bring to the table, like, what do you say? Your battle warrior comment is something about you, like be a bigger you. Is that it?
You are more is what I call it.
You are more.
You are more.
Okay. So I have something really similar that I talk about in my book. And what I talk about in my book is the big you. And I talk about like how to create the big you. I also talk about that in my class. But the whole idea is, if you think about somebody with low self-esteem, Chad, you think about a tiny little stick man. Like if you have a piece of paper and you look at it, and the tiny little stick man is at the bottom of the piece of paper. And everybody can step on that tiny little stick man. And that tiny little stick man, when he looks up the paper and he looks up at the big skyscrapers and he looks like at all the stuff that he wants out of life, it's unobtainable, right? So how do you get from being the tiny little stick man to being able to get what you want in life? You got to be a bigger you. Like, what do you call it? You say a big you? No, you say you are more.
You are more, which means
you are more. So you have to be more. So my bigger you and you have to be more closely.
Yeah, it's a theme of abundance.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
So how do you do that? Well, you take inventory of what's great about you. You get your mind right. You use positive affirmations. You do a written set of goals. You speak better about you than anybody else. And if people say stuff that are bad about you, it doesn't compute in your brain, because it's almost like I have a black shirt on right now. It's like everybody's saying, hey, John, you have a blue shirt on. And I'm like, no, I got good self-esteem. This is a black shirt. You can say all day long that I'm this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, this is my shirt. And I've decided this is a black shirt.
And this is who I am.
Exactly. Like it or not, you might think it's blue, polka dot, striped, whatever. It doesn't matter what you and your friends say about me and my shirt. I own this. Like, you can't, and two, like, you got to make a written list of all your accomplishments. So a written list of all your accomplishments, like you see the army man behind me, that's armor for battle, man. Because then when you go into that next interview for that next job, for that next sales appointment, you're not going in there like it's a 50-50 chance that it might work and it might not. And like, it's so reliant that I do this business, or like it's going to chip away at my self-esteem. At the end of the day, that guy could give you a flat out no, tell you you're broke, you're useless, you're an idiot, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, you're walking out of there. You know what, dude? I still know all my 10 top accomplishments. You're not going to change one thing I do this weekend. And if it's sitting by a river and smoking a cigar, by God, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to find happiness, and you don't own my happiness.
Exactly. Let's end it right there. You can't even make it any sweeter.
All right. Hey,
tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Easy to find me, guys. And to enjoy what I have to offer the world, because I've made it about as inexpensive as I possibly can. I have a book on Amazon. It's called Sales Warrior. That's a picture of my cover right there. And I have a course. It's a 3-day boot camp. It's wonderful. It includes audio, video, instruction sheets from me. It's a 3-day boot camp. You can do it in 1 hour increments. My boot camp should be $500. I think when I kicked it off, I was selling it for $400. My boot camp is only 99 bones. With it, you get my book for free. And with it too, you get monthly inspiration from me, typically every other month, because I'm into quality, not quantity. So every other month, you get about a 40-minute to an hour inspiration from me for as long as I want to do this. So it's a gift that keeps on giving. So that 99 that you throw to, make a bigger you and a better you and a more you, you just get it all at my website, saleswarriorinspire.com. Again, it's saleswarriorinspire.com. All my social media is there. My LinkedIn is Jon, Jon, Sales Warrior. Everything is there. So easy to connect with me, so easy to grow with me. And I'm not stopping. I'm in my mid-50s. And man, I'm taking this until I'm 80. So as long as I got voice in my breath, I'm going to, give back to the world, because the world has given a lot to me. So here's a couple things I always share, Joe, or Chad. I'm sorry, man. I don't know why. Chad,
It's fine.
you look like Joe, man. It's all good. It's all good, brother. Okay. So one thing I want to share, and this will be kind of mind expansion for a lot of folks, but it's along the lines of being happy. So first and foremost, life is short. And if you don't believe life is short, take some time and go to the hospital and ask, is there anybody that's terminally ill? Every minute of their days, they wish they had more. And so life is short. And then I would share this with you. And Chad's done a great job of really giving a good picture of this, but life is for living. And if sitting by a river, smoking a cigar, grooving out and cooling out is a good thing for you to do to chill, then God bless you. You should pursue that.